The first motorsports competition at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway took place in 1909 in the form of motorcycle races. Automobile races would soon follow. When the track's original surface of crushed stone and tar proved problematic, the owners paved the track with more than 3 million bricks, giving rise to its nickname, the Brickyard. It wasn't until Memorial Day of 1911 that the first 500-mile race was held at the Speedway and won by Ray Haroon and his Marmon Wasp. What quickly became known as the Indianapolis 500 became one of the nation's leading sports events through the 20s and 30s. To win the Indy 500 was to achieve instant notoriety, and the names of early winners like Tommy Milton, Louis Meyer, Wilbur Shaw are indelibly etched in the annals of American motorsports. A nationwide ban on motorsports during World War II nearly spelled the end for Indy, which lay in virtual ruin when a consortium headed by Indiana businessman Tony Holman purchased the facility in 1945. Holman and his partners invested heavily into the facility and expanded the spectator capacity to the point that Indianapolis Motor Speedway became the world's largest sporting arena, and the Indy 500 the world's largest single-day sporting event, which crowds regularly topping 350,000 people. The March of Progress also included the gradual process of paving over the bricks with modern asphalt. By 1961, resurfacing had been completed, leaving just the famous Yard of Bricks at the start-finish line as a tribute to the tradition of the Brickyard. In 1994, IMS President Tony George, grandson of Tony Holman, consummated an agreement with NASCAR to stage stock car racing, the Brickyard 400 at the Speedway. First open test session for NASCAR drew nearly 10,000 fans. But tonight, it's the Concrete Floors Next Gen Series. It's coming up next on HBR TV. Race details for tonight. 75 laps, I believe stages lap 20 and 40. Just basing that off of previous 2.5-mile speedways. That may change. I haven't gotten a word otherwise, but that's what we're looking at. Practice is just about wrapped up here at the Speedway. We're going to go down trackside here just momentarily and get qualifying started. See who takes to the Speedway first. Looks like Zach Millett first to roll out of pit lane. Again, we're only streaming on YouTube this evening. Facebook is down for whatever reason. We're still having some issues with intermittent stream loss. I am going to record this one just to be on the safe side so that if there is an issue, we can get this thing in its entirety at the end. But as of now, fingers crossed that we stay good. Healthy stream according to YouTube. No drop frames, no lagged frames, no skipped frames. Just Zach Millett on the Speedway here. Zach out of northern New York, Clayton, just outside the Thousand Islands. Green flag in the air for Zach Millett, his first lap of the session. Millett was fastest in the practice session earlier on, I believe. We'll double check and verify that right now. And for whatever reason, it's not coming up. Oh, there we go. Let's fix that. That's better. Zach Millett fastest in the session, 52.179 seconds in the practice. Brett Allison, Mike Martin, Gary Zlipinski, Travis Turnmeyer. That was the top 5 earlier today. Currently a 52.39 for Zach Millett on his first lap. Gasman, I think that's Frank Gramuglia. He's in the 13 car. Second quick, 52.42. Howlett, 52.63. Let's watch Gary Zlipinski again. He had some pace in the practice session early as well. Overlays may look a little bit different tonight. In trying to correct our stream issues, I had to delete and reinstall iRacing, and unfortunately I deleted the project files for all of my streams, so we're kind of rebuilding. Here, Gary, way out of the throttle into turn 4 there. I don't know if the car slipped a bit. Currently, Gary's fast lap 51.84, top of the board. $51.976, a little slowdown for Lipinski on lap 2. I think it might have been him checking out of the throttle there in 4. First lap for Mike Rominger, 52.621. Rominger down the backstretch here on his second lap. Currently the top 5's Lipinski, Gasman, I think that is, again, as we said, that is Frank Vermuglia. If I stand corrected, please let me know. Craig White in the 3, he is 3rd. Zach Millett, the 315, 967 in here, but he is 4th. 429 Machina Paul Witt, he is 5th. Rominger off turn 4. See if he can pick up the pace here on his second lap. Rominger across the stripe. 52.098, picks it up, puts himself P4. It's going to relegate Millett back to the 5th position, which honestly may not be a terrible place to start. It may be better to be 5th than 4th. Gives you that 3rd row, but at least it's inside lane. That's going to wrap up the session here. Let's get to our starting grid. Concrete Floors Next Gen Cup Series presented by Old Fart Sim Racing. On the pole position here at Indy, it is the 78 of Gary's Lipinski to the outside. The number 13, it's the Gas Man. I think that's Frank Vermuglia. Starting second, Craig White is 3rd starting position in the 3. Mike Rominger rolls off in the 4th spot. Zach Millett, the number 967, he starts in the 5th position. Starting 6, Paul Witt, the 429, with Travis Turnmeyer, the number 54, starting 7th. Noel Coors is going to roll off in the 8th spot, with Frank Perfin, the number 67, starting 9th. Michael Howlett starts from the 10th position, the number 33 out of New England. Norman Clark, the 09, the Aussie, starts 11th out of New Zealand. Harold Deckard, the number 9, starting 12th. Earl Lateral, the 12, starting 13th. Jared McCauley in the 04, he rolls off from the 14th position. Mark Robertson will be 88 in the 15th starting spot. Mike Martin with the 77 will roll off 16th. Alan McEwen, the number 45, starts 17th. James Randall will be 18th. Brad Allison with Brad Allison Racing, credited with 19th. Joe Green starting 20th, the number 42 out of Pennsylvania. 20-car field here at Indy tonight. Should be a good one, but that's the starting grid, how they'll line up for tonight's race. Field just getting ready to roll off. Likely one pace lap around this 2.5-mile rectangular oval. Pace car starting to roll, as is the rest of the field. Weather conditions here today, 69 degrees, 53% humidity. Partly cloudy skies, track temp at 82 degrees. Pace car peels off. Getting ready for 75 laps here at Indianapolis. Wait for Barney to wave the green. Field comes to life. Barney's a waving. We're underway here from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Lap 1 in the books. Gary Lipinski still leads it. The gas man runs second. Mike Rominger, Craig White, Paul Witt, the top 5. Zach Millett has slipped to the 6th position. Top 5, 6, 7. Really everybody just about single file here, trying to get everything felt out here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. They did have an hour practice prior to the session, but this is race time. This is where they get it done. No sense in burning up your stuff too early. We talked to Zach Millett pre-race, and his comments about it was, it's great for about 3 or 4 laps, and then you burn the right rear off of it, and then it becomes a handful. That's the case right now. Lap 3 on the boards. Lipinski still leads. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am a little bit under the weather, so if I disappear off mic for a period of time, I've just muted it so I don't cough in everybody's ear. Business picking up here in the back of the pack. Earl Latterall in the 14th spot. This group of cars seemingly a little bit more aggressive than the rest of the field. Headed up by the 9 of Harold Decker. Behind Decker, you've got the red machine there. That's Frank Perfin. Just going off the template colors. Mike Martin there in the 77. Looked like the 88, that green machine, I think that is Mark Robertson. Seemed to get a little tail happy off turn 4. No incident. Gets to the grass, though. A little loose through turn 1. Slides up the racetrack. It's going to open the door for the 45 of Alan McEwen. McEwen checks up as well. Wasn't sure what was going to happen there with the 88 as he did get out of shape. Back in the throttle now, off turn 2, down the back straightaway. Pulls to the inside. Might be giving up this position. McEwen's going to take him on the high side, move Robertson back to 17th now. James Randall, the only driver closing in. Looks like an 18-car field here tonight. Brad Allison, Joe Green not taking the green tonight. So out of the 20 cars, we only have the 18. Back out front, Gary Lipinski still with the top spot. Gas man behind him, that is Frank Gramuglia in the 13. Again, I need to update that. We'll try and get that squared for next week. If not, Gasman works too. Kind of like it. It's definitely a racer's name. Zach Millen has worked his way back into the top 5, made a move around Paul Witt laps ago. Clean and green so far, 7 laps in. Top 8 cars have certainly gotten away from the rest of the pack. Noel Kors, Travis Turnmeyer, that is your top 8. But Harold Decker, again, a ways back, probably 10, 20 car lengths in a separate pack. He leads up Michael Martin, Earl Latterell, and Frank Perfin. That's another 4-car pack. '77 looking inside Harold Decker there for position. Not enough room to get it done. Decker, the number 9, that black, white, and purple Ford Mustang, being hounded by the minions right now. '77 of Mike Martin looks to the outside, gets a run off 2 down the back straightaway. Makes the pass into turn number 3. Earl Latterell, a little wiggle in the middle of the corner, gathers it back up. Out front, Gary Lipinski starting to gain an advantage as Mike Rominger and the Gas Man do battle. Rominger takes the 2nd spot away, move him up to P2. Frank Gramuglia back to P3. That's the Gas Man in the 13. Zach Millen has taken advantage as well. He's moved up to P4. Craig White closing in the 5th position. Lipinski continuing where he left off. Starting to pull away here. About 6 car lengths back to Mike Rominger as they work through turn 3. Again, very unique layout here at Indianapolis. It's 4 distinct corners. They're all relatively different from each other, though visually they look about the same. Lipinski still out front, 0.6 of a second the advantage over the 951 of Mike Rominger. Pretty common to see these two at the front of the field. Kind of a back and forth season for the two of them. Gasman Frank Gramuglia in the third spot. Zach Millett, Craig White, your top five. Again, we believe the stages to be 20 and 40. Not 100% sure if that's the case, but it would seem to reason. I think Talladega was about the same and roughly the same size track. Talladega a little bit bigger, of course, but nonetheless, 2.5 mile racetrack here at Indianapolis. Very similar as far as the length is concerned. Very different otherwise. Notice the pit road is closed, so maybe the stages are ending a little bit earlier than we anticipated. Many leagues do that. I do it myself in our Radical League that just wrapped up. Zach Millett, actually our champion for that particular league. But we close the pits prior to a stage break, so guys can't kind of short pit and just get down there as the caution comes out. That way when the stage break comes, they don't need to pit. They can stay on the racetrack while everybody else gets their pit service completed. Clean and green since the drop of the flag, 14 laps in. Gary Lipinski has led every one of them. Started on pole position. Mike Rominger started fourth. He's up to second. Zach Millett started fifth. He's up to P3. Gas man Frank Gramuglia started outside front row. He currently runs fourth, and Paul Witt up to the fifth position. Started sixth. Caution on the Speedway. So with that, Gary Lipinski, your stage one winner, it appears. That is the reason for the caution. We have no incident on track. We're going to get a quick break out of the way here, and we'll be back with pit stops and a conversation, quick conversation with Gary Lipinski after this.
The great thing about youth sports, they give young people an opportunity to participate in something that is going to broaden them as people.
I think it's very amazing that Garza Law Firm has made a commitment to help the youth kids with playing different sports.
Guys like Marcos Garza that put their time into being able to help these kids live out a dream. It's made me who I am today.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Stage one complete. Gary Lipinski wins it. Field rolling down pit lane once again here. First time of the day to get pit service. Lipinski in the box, right sides go in the air. Sunoco Racing Fuel going in. Quick change to the right side, crew around to the left. Jack goes underneath the Ford Mustang. 4 tires and Sunoco Race Fuel. Gary Lipinski down and away. Comes in as the leader, leaves as the leader. Mike Rominger looks like he got out second. Harold Decker did stay on the racetrack, though, so he's going to take over the top spot. Don't know if this is just a ploy to get some laps led. Maybe he'll take the opportunity to pit next time by. He's going to get a penalty for doing so. I don't know, maybe he can go all the way to the end of the stage 2, which at this point, 15-lap first stage. Naturally, we're going to assume the second stage is going to be lap 30. Got Eddie Rose watching on the YouTube side. We got that S4 guy, who also happens to be Zach Millett. Says the track is quick. Thanks for popping in, guys. Appreciate it. Again, YouTube, the only feed tonight, no multi-stream. Starting to wonder if there's an issue with the Streamlabs restream, because it seems that, at least so far, we're half an hour into this particular stream, without fail, no issues. And we are still recording just in case we have an issue, but crossed fingers, we'll be okay. And as we kind of expected, Harold Decker is going to hit the pit lane here. So with that, we're going to try and pull Gary Zlipinski into the broadcast booth and get a word with our stage winner. And never mind. Looks like I don't have permissions to move guys anymore, so we're going to skip it. Gary Zlipinski, your stage 1 winner. Unfortunately, we can't interview him, so hopefully these guys can pop in later. So Gary may have turned it off himself. Maybe he does not want me to pull him into the booth because he's the only one in this particular chat that I cannot move for some reason. So again, apologies. We've moved him in the past. Maybe we bug him a little too much. That's perfectly fine. Not every driver likes to be bothered mid-race. We'll let it slide. Pace car lights are off, though. Lipinski getting ready to start this race back underway from the top spot. Rominger's going to be to the outside. Paul Witt in the second lane to the outside. And the inside, it's the gas man, Frank Ramuglia, the number 13. Then Zach Millett and Craig White. Pace car peels off. We're ready to go back to the green flag.
Green, green, green.
Paul Witt in the wall off turn number 4. A couple cars scrambling to avoid that contact. Was not a very hard hit, but definitely got a chunk of it with the right rear. Millett trying to work on the 429 of Paul Witt. This would be for, Paul Witt is, this would be for the 4th position. Witt has it. Millett sits there back in the 5th spot. Witt drives it real deep into turn number 1. Millett backs up the corner a bit, tries to get a run off turn 1 through the chute. Witt drives it deep again into turn 2. This is where you might see Millett gain some ground. Didn't get off 2 very well. Running positions are still relatively unchanged at the front of the field. It's Lipinski, Rominger, the gas man, Paul Witt, and Zach Millett, the top 5. Craig White has slipped to the 6th position. Travis Turnmeyer, Noel Coors, Mike Martin, Earl Lateral up to the 10th spot. So far, biggest mover, though, Mike Martin, the 77. He's up 7 positions. Lucky number 7. Play those numbers tonight. Lipinski in a zip code of his own here at the front of the field. 1.4 seconds back to Mike Rominger. That gap is just stretching out. Clean air is king, especially here at Indianapolis. Again, these next-gen cars don't punch that big of a hole in the air, but nevertheless, it does still punch a hole nonetheless. It's going to take a little bit more downforce off the nose of the car behind. And a lot of the downforce is generated by the floor of these race cars, but again, you still have something up there creating drag, creating aerodynamic turbulence for the field behind them. It's not so much an issue, it looks like, for Mike Rominger, because again, Lipinski is about 1.5 seconds up ahead. If he gets any closer, though, he will start to lose the nose so slightly. Not as much of an issue as it is as we see in the IndyCar series. Cars close down very quickly. Obviously, the slipstream is very much a factor, and then the draft itself, the big wing that the cars have in the air, you will absolutely lose the nose in traffic. With those cars, though, they have independent weight jacker adjustments that the driver can make within the car during the race. Not so much the case here in the Next Gen Cup Series. See visually the distance back to Mike Rominger is certainly a ways. Not talking car lengths anymore, we're talking bus lengths, and it's at least 3. 1/3 distance here at the Speedway, 25 down, 50 to go. Greg White slips back to the 9th position as somebody's out of shape there off turn number 4. We do have a taker on pit lane. It's Michael Howlett. Pit lights are still green, so he's taking a chance here. Big enough racetrack here at Indy. He might be able to get this stop done without losing a lap. Let's keep an eye on this. Howlett with the Cookie Monster colors. Love that car. Right side's in the air. Going to be 4 tires and fuel, I believe. Don't see much advantage to just taking 2. Crew around to the left. Pit work is done. Leaders are through turn 4 right now, so we'll see Michael Howlett exiting the pits here. Leader is coming. He's going to have to hustle. He might be able to do this. It's possible. I don't know if he's going to get up to speed in time. Long ways out. Exit at turn number 2 is that... oh, he's in the grass. Slides up the racetrack. That's going to do it for him. That's going to be an unsafe exit. He's going to get a penalty for that, and he's also going to lose a lap in the process. Mike Rominger tries to tuck in, sniff a little draft off the 33 for the time being. That's going to be a blend line violation for Michael Howlett. He's likely going to have to come back down pit road. Oh, Zach Millett loose off of 4. Everybody loose off of 4. Everybody fishtailing, losing the rear end of the car just a little bit. Howlett stays on the racetrack. Don't know if he got lucky with that one. Maybe had it cleared. We'll have to wait and see. But definitely got through the grass, lost it. Technically is a blend line violation. We'll see if it holds. Back out front, though, as Lipinski has extended his lead to almost 2 full seconds over Mike Rominger. Coming to lap 30, we'll wait and see if this is indeed the stage.
Caution's out.
And there it is. Caution is on the Speedway. Stage 2 complete.
Correct, coming into pit road? Yes, I do, sir.
So with that, we're going to step aside once again, get some brakes out of the way. We'll be back after this.
fast. I'm kind of looking forward to a long run here. Cars get real loose after lap like 12 or 13 on a run, and it kind of, I don't know, I kind of prefer it. It makes it a little more interesting. So looking forward to that, and we'll see if we can hang on to it.
All right, Zach. Well, thanks for chatting with us during the race here. Pit stops are complete, getting ready to go back to the green flag. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, sir.
It was Zach Millett, driver of the 315. It's a Camaro, but he's got Audi badging on it. Sometimes you just got to shake your head. Pace car lights are off, so that can mean one thing. We're going green this time by. Field working through, I believe, turns 1 and 2. Long lap under caution here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Last time by a minute 57. Granted, I believe that did include pit stops. Certainly not the 51 and change that Lipinski put down in qualifying. That S4 guy in the chat. Audi! Yeah, we know. You drive an Audi. Good for you. Field formed up pretty nicely off turn 4, waiting for pace car to peel off the racing surface. It does just that. So wait for a green flag.
Green flag.
Green flag in the air is Lipinski in the gas. Speaking of the gas man to the outside, the number 13. Good restart for Frank Ramuglia. He looks to the outside, but the bottom lane is preferred as Lipinski drives it down. Rominger's going to try and take the spot in the second position there. Doesn't make it happen. Tucks in behind, but now he's got Zach Millett looking to the outside. Millett makes the pass on Rominger as we got a car in the wall. I think that might have been Travis Turnmeyer. Possibly it was indeed the 54. Pancake the right side. Not super hard impact, but definitely some damage. He scrapes it once again. Noel Coors and the High Rock Vodka Camaro there just in the bottom of the frame. Paul Witten out of the inside of Turnmeyer trying to take advantage of that situation. The 54 getting into the safer barrier off corner exit, trying to get reacclimated and situated. Lacha-iduated. Making up words now. Too much cough medicine. Eddie Rose in the stream chat. Zach sure has a good-looking car. Yeah, it's a good-looking car. He does do his own paint work for most part. Once in a while, I have to help him with it, but I think we got him on the right track. "35 laps in of 75 here from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Gary's Lipinski still leads, surprise, surprise. He's been there all night long. Started from the pole position, won stage 1. He's won stage 2. Business is picking up behind him, though. The gas man and Zach Millett, both second and third. Gap not really getting big between these three. Lap 37 goes on the board so far as Lipinski's led all but I think maybe one of them. I think Harold Decker stayed out under that first stage break, under the caution flag to lead one lap. Tell you, the 13 is not giving up. He's closed right down to half a car length, the back bumper of the 78 of Gary's Lipinski. Hear Gary burping the throttle quite a bit. Sorry, not Gary. This is the gas man. This is Frank Gramuglia. Either way, still burping the throttle mid-corner. Just past halfway here from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Gary's Lipinski has led all but one lap tonight. One stage one, one stage two, trying to set himself up for another checkered flag, but here comes the gas man into turn one with a run. Nothing doing there, but he is right there on the back bumper. Gasman is a bit quicker last two laps. Lap 37 was over a tenth and a half faster, then the last lap was just over a tenth quicker. It's frustrating knowing that you can run quicker laps in behind the guy in front, but you just can't get there. Can't get that pass executed. Lap 40. 36 laps remain. Again, I'm expecting all these drivers to have to make at least one green flag stop here within this final stage. Top three under a blanket across the start-finish line. Maybe a move coming. Zach Millett looks like he's willing to go with the 13 if he decides to pull down to pass. Millett looking to the outside, had a run through turn number one. Zach Millett doesn't have the gas man clear. Got a nose out in front of the second spot. Now he clears the 13, moves Zach Millett up to P2. Millett looks fast. He's all over the back bumper of Gary's Lipinski. You got to wonder if Gary's saving his stuff a bit. We saw how far of a lead he extended out to in stage two. It was almost 2 full seconds at the end of 30 laps. Now he's got Zach Millett a car length off the back bumper. Leaders starting to close in on a little bit of lap traffic just up ahead. One car right now. Going to be a couple of laps before they really get into the mix, but that might play to the favor of Zlipinski, at least as far as picking up some of that slipstream, provided that driver gets out of the way in a timely fashion. Jared McCauley down pit lane. The 04 Busch Light Ford Mustang. I believe Earl Latterell is actually the driver that is the next one to go down a lap. Currently sits in the 17th position. See, Gary Zlipinski, your leader, down the back straightaway into turn number 3 here momentarily. Not a ton of distance between the 12 and the leader of Zlipinski. Don't know if there was an issue there. In fact, no, it looks like Earl made a pit stop at lap 39 just about 5 laps ago. So he's on fresher tires. Looks like he's got enough fuel to the end. I know he's going to want to stay out in front of Gary Zlipinski, the leader here for now, but Zlipinski closing down. Another big wiggle out of Zach Millett there in the second spot. Still maintains about a car length between himself and the 78, maybe 2. 04 McCauley rejoins the race as well in front of the leaders. Fresh tires for him as well. Sun getting into turn number 4. A little bit of a distraction for these drivers. It's one thing that's hard to do. In the real world, you can have a tinted visor, but here in iRacing, you got all that sun bearing down on that windshield, and it is difficult to see. Nothing you can do about it. So just ahead, you see 2 lap cars, or 2 tail of the lead lap cars, ahead of Gary Zlipinski. That is Jared McCauley and Earl Latterell. They both made their pit stops about 6 or 7 laps ago. So a little bit better tire. Should have enough fuel to make it to the end. At least it seems that that would be the game plan. A one-stop stage 3. So all these drivers are going to have to do the same. They're going to have to pit at some point before this race comes to an end. Craig White in the 9th position. Craig trying to take that position away, the 8th spot from Travis Turnmeyer. Meyer loose off turn number 2, or is he just trying to break the draft? Craig White's going to get to the inside. He's going to take this spot. They're 3 wide and entry to turn 3, but no. Paul Witt was the other car to the inside. Contact made. Witt in the grass. Witt hard into the outside wall. Big impact. Caution on the Speedway.
I know, man. I think we need to start putting like an age limit on racing or something, you know?
Right front damaged heavily on the Paul Witt machine. Way too much tow. Likely a tow link broken on the right front of the Spidey 429. Spider-Man, I think it's a... What do we got here? Let's get a better look. Spidey Amazing Friends. It's a paint scheme he's run in the past. So fast repair available, but again, I think he may end up losing a lap just trying to get back to pit lane. Gary Zlipinski still out in front. So this is kind of good news, really, for Earl Latterell and Jared McCauley. Made their pit stops under the green flag, stayed ahead of the leader, didn't lose a lap. Caution's going to get them caught back up. Only drawback to this is now this gives the leaders an opportunity to make their pit stops under the yellow flag. They're going to come back out with fresher tires, so I almost got to wonder if McCauley and Lateral are going to take the opportunity to pit again. Kind of made their bet as far as the strategy was concerned there, but they do have unlimited tire sets. So if I'm Earl Lateral or Jared McCauley, I'm not staying out here. I'm going to get tires. Earl Lateral does just that. So does Jared McCauley. They both hit pit lane. Paul Witt had just completed his pit stop, so this is going to work out ideal for him. Slipinski in the box. Ooh, has to back it up. Misses the pit box. This is big. The race leader all afternoon goes a little too deep in the pit box. Has to back it up. Losing valuable time. Zach Millett's going to win the race off of pit road. Slipinski's going to be mired back in about the 8th or 9th position, it looks like. Tough break here late in the race. It's going to be probably 24 laps to go when we get back to green, maybe less. Lipinski actually looks like he's going to cycle back through in the 7th spot. Definitely not what he wanted to have happen. He's got a fast car and he's got some talent behind the wheel, that Furniture Row Mustang, but he's going to have to work hard now to get back towards the front. This place is difficult to pass on, even if you have a fast car, even if you're the better driver. I'm not saying he's better than everybody, but places like Indianapolis, it is a challenge. You can run an AI session against guys, and they can turn laps that are slower than you, but it is still not easy to pass. The corners, there's 4. They're distinct. They're short. There's not a whole lot of places. It's pretty much a one-groove racetrack. It's very difficult to run side-by-side through this place. You kind of have to get the run out of the corner, set up the pass on entry, and force the guy to check up and basically give you the position. Going to be fun to watch. Gary Slipinski is going to restart here in the 7th spot. Under caution here once again at Indianapolis. First caution for cause. We're going to step aside, get a break out of the way. We'll be back after this.
The great thing about youth sports, they give young people an opportunity to participate in something that is going to broaden them as people.
I think it's very amazing that Garza Law Firm has made a commitment to help the youth kids with playing different sports.
Guys like Marcos Garza that put their time into being able to help these kids live out a dream. It's made me who I am today.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Pace car lights are out. It's about ready to leave the racing surface here as we get ready to go back under the green flag here with 25 laps to go from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Zach Millett brings them down to the green flag.
Green flag.
Millett off turn number 2. A good run out of the corner, down the backstretch. Rominger there, car length behind. Third place, Noel Coors. This seems to be more deja vu. Noel Coors Started in the 8th spot, been hovering in the back of that top 10 most of the afternoon, but here we are, final 25 laps, and Noel back into the top 5, challenging here. Looking to the inside of Mike Rominger for the 2nd spot. Nothing doing there, just trying to get in the mirror. Riding on board with Zach Millett here with 24, almost 23 to go. Mike Rominger there in the 2nd spot. Noel Coors, Mike Martin, Gary Zlapinski up to the 5th position. He's gained a couple since the restart. Ooh, Millett gets a piece of the wall. Just a little bit, scrapes the right side. Take a look at the lap times here. Lap 51 and 52. Rominger pretty close. About 2/10 off on lap 51, but closed it down on lap 52. I'm curious to see what this one looks like with the contact that Millett made with the safer barrier off. I believe it was turn 1, maybe 2. Another wiggle. Rominger was faster. Caution on the Speedway. Mark Robertson possibly.
Well, doing a good job.
Yep, the 88 machine having some trouble. Let's take a look, see what happened. This is exiting pit lane, ironically. Very surprised that actually brought the caution out. Maybe this is what did it, going back up through. Don't know. He never really got back on the racing surface. But that was enough to bring the yellow flag out, I guess. So, under yellow once again with 22 laps to go. Now the question is, does everybody take tires? They've only been under the green here for about 5 laps, but I gotta say, with unlimited tire sets, I think you have to. I know you've got 16 cars on the lead lap here, but I think you have to stop. Take 4 tires, because if you don't, everybody behind you is going to. Kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't if you're the leader here. If you stay on the racetrack, the whole field's going to get fresh rubber. If you go down pit lane, there's that risk that they may all stay out, but the benefit there is you're on fresh tires. 16 cars in the lead lap with about 19, 18 laps to go. You might be able to make it back up front. Mike Rominger, Noel Coors, Mike Martin, Gary Zlapinski. That's the top 5. Gary's been the class of the field all day, but Millett just recently taking over the top spot. Pits are currently closed. We'll see if they open up this time by. Interesting. Lots of drivers taking the opportunity to hit pit lane here. I find it interesting that the red lights are on. Pit road appears to be closed unless it's just an iRacing glitch. That could be the case, but looks like the top 5 stay on the racetrack. Millett, Rominger, Zlapinski. A couple guys in the top 5 opted. Zlapinski gets a couple of spots out of it. The gas man, Frank Gramuglia up to P4, Travis Turnmeyer up to P5. They all pit on that last caution. With Craig White, Noel Kors, Frank Perfin, Mike Howlett, Norman Clark, Harold Decker, Earl Latterell, Mike Martin, Alan McEwen, all opting to hit pit lane here and take some tires. Some drivers opting for 2 tires, Craig White being one of them. Seems like the right rear wears the most, so it might not be a bad move here, taking right sides only. Eddie Rose in the stream chat asking, what driver drove the chrome car and what year was it, HBR TV viewers? Well, I'm almost certain it was a Dale Senior paint scheme. It was for the, I believe the Winston or the All-Star race at Charlotte, and I want to say it was 94, 95. I know 96 was the Olympics car, but I'm going to go with 94. Eddie, if you're still in here, just check my math. I don't know. I actually have a diecast of that car somewhere. So Zach Millett stays on the racetrack, trying to fake some drivers out. I think everybody kind of had their minds made up regardless. So everybody in the top 5 on equal footing. They all pit at lap 48. Paul Witt pit lap 49. Gonna say that's equal footing if you ask me. Everybody else behind, lap 55 under this caution. So it's Craig White, Mike Howlett, Michael Martin. Martin had some pace early on. Noel Kors, of course. I think this is a good gamble for Noel Kors. He had some pace. He was up there in the top 3 at the last restart, but now he's got fresher tires. It's not a significant advantage, but it is an advantage nonetheless. Earl Latterell, Frank Perfin, Alan McEwen, Harold Decker, Norman Clark. I gotta say, watching this race, though it has not been the most exciting, and I don't blame these guys because this league is a very competitive league. It's very impressive to see how well these guys race with each other, but I want to see the Cup cars back on the oval at Indy. I don't want to see more of this road course stuff. And for me to say that, if you know me as an HBR TV guy, as a racing guy, I love the road courses, whether it's driving them, calling them, whatever the case may be. But we belong on the oval. It's Indianapolis, and if you're not running the Brickyard, you're not running the Brickyard. You know what I mean? Pace car off turn 4, lights are off, gonna duck down pit lane, and we're going back to the green flag here.
Ready, green, green, green.
Green flag waves back underway from Indy. Zach Millett with a good jump. Side by side for the second spot. Gary Zlipinski and Mike Roaming are doing battle. Side by side, off turn number 2, down the back straightaway. They continue to battle it out. This is good sight to see for Zach Millett. Well, kinda. Depends if Zlipinski pulls off this pass because he's been the class of the field all day and he moves into the second spot. Gary now setting his sights on the 315. That S4 guy of Zach Millett. Coming front straightaway here. Going to be 17 laps to go. Can Gary get to and pass Millett and kind of pull off the sweep here at Indianapolis? He's closed down significantly into turn number 1. Slopinski right to the back bumper of Zach Millett down the back straightaway. Might make a move into turn 3. Taking a look. To the inside in turn number 3, Gary Slopinski tries to get the lead, but Zach Millett jumps in the throttle through the short chute. Zach Millett successfully defends the top spot. Coming to 16 laps to go as Lipinski made a valiant effort at it. Millett, nice job defending. Still 16 to go. Back to our chrome paint scheme. Eddie Rose says, Darrell Waltrip, 97. I mean, it's kind of a tough call. I guess you want to say that the Dale Earnhardt paint scheme from the Winston was maybe silver and not chrome. I guess maybe that's the argument. Slopinski looking again in turn number 3 to the inside on Zach Millett. Seems to get the best run out of 2. We talked about how to make passes here at Indy. Got to get that run out of the corner and then set up and kind of force the guy to lift on the outside. But Millett, full send, not lifting. Defends once again off turn 4. Coming to 15 laps to go. Zach Millett with the top spot. Down into 1. Millett drives it a little bit deeper than Slopinski through the corner. We'll see if he does the same here in turn 2. If he backs up his entry, drives out, Slopinski may have a harder time getting that run down the back straightaway. Might want to try and break that slipstream just so slightly. Early shift there. That didn't seem to help because you see Slopinski closing down. Into turn 3, no attempt this time as Rominger is now closed back in behind Gary Slopinski. Gary Slopinski right to the back bumper of Zach Millett again into turn number 3. You almost got to wonder if those were practice attempts for Slopinski to see if he could pull that move off. 14 laps to go. He still has plenty of time to try again, but you want to cool those tires down a little bit. Don't want to abuse them too early on in the run. Eddie Rose again in the stream chat. Dale drove one, I believe it was 2000. No, I don't think it was. I honestly think it was 95. Maybe we got to hit up the Google machine. I think it was the 1995 All-Star race at Charlotte. He had that silver GM Goodwrench paint scheme, but I digress. Top 3, Millett, Slopinski, Rominger. Further back, you got the Gas Man and then Travis Turnmeyer. That's the top 5. 12.5 laps to go. Millett down the backstretch into turn number 3. Slopinski right in the tire tracks, not making a move to the inside once again. 2 car lengths between the top 2. Caution on the Speedway.
Stop, save a little fuel.
Not sure why. Maybe Harold Decker? Yes, Harold Decker in trouble. This might be off turn number 2. Turn 1, it looks like. Let's take a look at the replay, see what happened to the 9. Yeah, this is down into turn number 1. He's to the inside of the 69 of James Randall. Oh! Well, might need another angle on that one. I don't know if that was an oops or a little bit of payback, possibly. I don't know if there was a pre-existing condition with these two. Let's watch from the roof cam. You know what? Let's pause this. I'm going to back it up a little further. I've got the perfect camera for this. James Randall. We're going to look at the door angle. Down the front straightaway. Just got a nose to the right, left rear. Yeah. There might be some conversations after this one. Didn't really work out for Decker if he was trying to wreck him because it hurt him too, but definitely need some milk and cookies after that. So now is the question. I think everybody hits pit lane, except for the guys that did the last time. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. It's been a while. It's lap 55. Now we're at about lap 64, so they've gone 9-10 laps under green. Question remains. Eddie Rose, no, 95 was the year I think Dale drove the silver GM Goodwrench paint scheme at the All-Star race. Field down pit lane, Millet, Lipinski, Rominger, Gasman, Travis Turnmeyer as well. So let's keep an eye on Millet, see if he can get in and out of the box clean. Gary Lipinski, same thing. Let's hope he doesn't slide through the box like last time. Both drivers cleanly in the box. Right side's changed already for Zach Millet, the 315. Left side's 4 tires and fuel. He's down and away. And Lipinski, does he pull a 2-tire stop? He does. 9.68 seconds. He's going to get out in front. Track position so important. We talked about that early on, how it's so difficult to pass around this place. Sometimes you got to take the opportunity to get the track position. I don't know if this is going to pan out or not, but if you do as the leader, and that means if you follow the leader, you're going to follow the leader. Change things up, see if you can make it work. A few drivers did stay on the racetrack. Mike Howlett, Norman Clark, and Craig White. Again, they stopped at lap 55. This is going to be interesting. So this is going to put our new top 5. Howlett, Clark, White, Lipinski, and the gas man. That's Frank Gramuglia. And Zach Millet's going to be mired back in the 6th position. With that said, he is the first driver on 4 fresh tires. Gary Lipinski and number 13 of Frank Gramuglia, they took 2. Mike Martin took 2, and then Rominger, Turnmeyer, Paul Witt, Latterell, Perfin, McEwen, Coors, and Decker all opted for 4. It seemed to be the common trend. Lipinski's had the pace all night long, so if anybody can do it, it's him, but we'll have to see if the left sides hold up. They definitely got a heat cycle into him. We'll see if it made that compound a little harder than you want it to be. Still live here on YouTube. No interruptions, thank goodness. We're an hour and 25 minutes into this live stream. The very first attempt to go live lasted about 4 minutes. Not even. And that was when we were dual streaming to Facebook and YouTube. So I think we're just going to continue on with single platform streaming going forward. Field formed up 2 by 2. Pace car lights are off. Cookie Monster is going to get us underway here in just a moment. So green flag will come out with 8 laps remaining. Again, some new faces at the front of the field here. Mike Howlett, Norman Clark, Craig White. Craig had some pace. Don't know that he's cracked the top 3 as of yet. If he has, it wasn't for too terribly long, but here he is with an opportunity here late in the race. Pace car is off. We wait for a green flag to wave.
Green flag.
Mike Howlett on the bottom. Norman Clark there in the second spot. Craig White making a move here, trying to take the spot from Gary Zlipinski. Zlipinski way up top through turn number 2. Gonna get a run down the back straightaway, though. Craig White nowhere to go. Howlett drops to the bottom, trying to break the draft. Crossing over is Norman Clark. Zlipinski now up to P3. Craig White 4th. Millett now up into the 5th position. Less than 8 laps to go. They work off turn number 3. Lipinski with a run out of 4, taking a look to the inside on Norman Clark. He's going to move up to the second spot, it looks. Norman Clark now back to P3. He's got Zach Millett in the 4th spot, breathing down his neck. Top 3, Howlett, Lipinski, Clark. 6.5 laps to go as Lipinski goes to look to the inside for the lead. To the bottom with 7 laps to go. Gary Zlipinski takes the top spot, and Michael Howlett's going to slip from 1st to 4th. Millett now working on the 2nd position. That is Norman Clark. Not enough room to get it done into turn number 1. Millett's going to have to try again. Car's real loose behind off turn number 1. Clark way out of the gas through turn 2. Brazen move to the bottom. Zach Millett underneath the 0-9 of Norman Clark off turn number 4. They battle down the front straightaway. Clark got a better run off of 4 down the straightaway, but doesn't get a good entry into 1. It's going to leave the door open for Millett. Millett tucks back in behind. He's going to burn up a lot of tire and time and track position trying to get around Clark. Millett is faster. Was 2/10 a lap before. The last lap, pretty even. Rominger's now coming into the picture. Five laps to go from Indianapolis. Oh, Millett gets a piece of the wall. Keeps his foot in it, had a good run, just bounces it off the wall, and he still has momentum. Zach Millett still makes the pass. Don't know how badly damaged that car's going to be, but he was faster that time by, even with the contact. Now, does Millett have enough time to close down the gap on Zlipinski? It's 0.8 of a second. He's going to have to reel him in. Zlipinski and Millett the last lap by relatively equal. Millett's going to have to pick up the pace, though. 3 laps to go as we get to the lines. Lipinski out in front. He's going to have a little bit of a draft from Paul Witt. Witt, the 15th place position Last car on the lead lap. Millet was slower once again. Though that gap has come down. It's 0.6 of a second from Zlapinski to Millet. 3 laps to go. Caution on the speedway. We got trouble. James Randall, possibly? James Randall, yes, still in trouble. Well, this is going to set up a whale of a finish. Let's take a look and see what happened to James Randall. Oh, Harold Decker involved. 45 gets to the right rear. I'm going to back that up. And then looks like subsequent contact there. Let's rewind this a little further here. Again, off turn 2. Wasn't quite clear. He gets right into that right rear of the 9. I know it's late in the race, but I don't know if there was enough room there. So, this is going to set us up for a overtime finish, a green-white checkered finish here at the Speedway. Again, I think we have 2 attempts at this if necessary. Indeed, that is the case. So, what do you do here? Do you opt for pit lane? They pit at lap 65. It's now lap 73. Zlapinski is on old left side tires. He only took 2 on that last stop. Millet took 4. I almost think if you're Millet, you got to stay out here. Looks like everybody's staying out. Except for Harold Decker. Decker's got some repairs I'm sure he wants to get taken care of. So, with that, we're going to take one more break. Get this out of the way here, and we'll be back after this.
The great thing about youth sports, they give young people an opportunity to participate in something that is going to broaden them as people.
I think it's very amazing that Garza Law Firm has made a commitment to help the youth kids with playing different sports.
Guys like Marcos Garza that put their time into being able to help these kids live out a dream. It's made me who I am today.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Under our first opportunity here for a green-white checkered finish. Just about the entire field opted to stay on the racetrack. In fact, I don't think anybody took an opportunity to pit here, at least not in the lead lap. 15 cars still on the lead lap. Paul Witt in 15th. He's the last car there on the lead lap. 2 attempts at a green-white checkered finish. This is the first. Hopefully we don't need to. We're going to give it a shot, though. 2 fast guys to front of the field. Lipinski's been dominant all night long. He's worked his way back to the front of the field, though he is on older left side tires. Does have that preferred inside lane, though. We'll see if Zach Millett can do anything with the 78 on 4 fresh tires, at least fresher tires.
Green flag.
Field comes to life here. 2 laps to go. Big run on to turn number 2. Zach Millett to the high side, takes over the top spot, gets in front of Gary Lipinski down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Less than 2 laps to go. It'll be a white flag if Millett can get back around, but Lipinski all over Millett like a cheap suit off turn number 3, but doesn't get the run out of 3. Millett off turn number 4. Looking for a white flag, and we got a car maybe down pit lane. Nope, Coors gathers it back up. Millett trying to break the draft. White flag in the air, final lap from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Millett was fastest in the practice session, but could not take top time in qualifying. Worked his way slowly but surely through the top 5 and made his way to the front. Led some laps, caution flags came out. Gary Lipinski took an opportunity to take 2 tires, got himself to track position and got out front. Millett, however, on 4 tires, takes over the top spot on this final restart into turn number 3 for the final time. One more corner to go for that S4 guy as he works off of turn number 4. One more time, a checkered flag waving. Zach Millett's going to win at Indianapolis. Second place, Gary's Lipinski. Mike Rominger was 3rd. Earl Latterell, a big jump into the 4th spot. Norman Clark was 5th. Biggest mover of the day was Mike Martin. He finished 6th. That was 10 spots better than where he started. What a finish. Millett restarted on the outside of Lipinski on that final green-white checkered. Got a run on to turn number 2 and made the pass. Took home a checkered flag. Second win of the season for Zach Millett. Zach Millett parks it on the yard of brick. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with our top 3 after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Zach Millett, your winner. Gonna try and pull Zach up into the broadcast booth, get a word. Zach Millett, it's Steve in the HBR TV broadcast booth. Do you got a copy?
Hey, Steve, got a copy.
Got a copy. We talked to you a little bit there during the race. You kind of ran solid there in the top 5 for a while, and then come to that stage 3. You got that thing out in the wind, took the lead, but then caution comes out. Pit stops underway, and Gary Lipinski opts for just right side tires. You take 4, and I thought you might have been done for, but you quickly worked your way back up front, and then we have the dreaded green-white checkered finish. Tell us about the pass. I think it was off turn number 2 that sets you up, and then you eventually take home the white and then checkered flags.
Yeah, I was just talking to Gary a little bit about it in the green room, and he meant to take 4 that last stop because, he came in pretty much in front of me anyway, and he would have beat me off for sure. So it was just kind of lucky, I guess, for me on that aspect. But I was catching him a little bit on the long run, but it wasn't going to be enough to get there. And then that caution, of course, came out, the green-white checkered, and boy, that was a game changer. It really was. I didn't think I was going to be able to hold it on the outside, but, I mean, we were going to try it regardless. So had a pretty good run.
Special tires.
Yeah, real special tires. Yeah, that's what he said.
We saw that in the chat. I think these guys had a practice race. I think it was last night, and the guy that won was talking about his special tires. Maybe he lent you a set of those. But either way, Zach, you looked real good out there. You did run the faster lap between yourself and Lipinski. It was a 51.94 to his 51.95. Wasn't the fastest of the day. That one went to third place Mike Rominger of 51.91. So close times amongst the top 3. This was a good race to watch. I know it's tough to pass around this place, but I made comments during the broadcast that it makes me wish and hope that we end up back on the oval here pretty soon with these NASCAR Cup cars, because I think that's just where they belong.
Oh, they absolutely do. Yeah, it's a whole different style of race. It's fun. It really is fun, and the passing, like you said, is really hard. You give up so much to the cars in front of you when you do go for that pass, but the drafting, it's so weird in these cars because it still has that bubble. So from a long distance, you can catch them pretty well. But once you get in that little bubble, you're kind of stuck.
And it's interesting, too. I watched a lot of the passes today, and there was really nobody, for the most part, opting to kind of break that draft on the straightaway. We did see you do it off turn 4, off turn 2, kind of dive to the bottom and trying to break up that slipstream. I'm just curious, was it really effective? Was it just kind of what you expected it to work? Because we really didn't see anybody else try it today.
I feel like it definitely helped. I did know for sure if I stayed tucked in, I wasn't going to make any ground. If somebody peeked out even a quarter a car outside, way up in front of me, I'd get a little bit more pull off them than I would the guy right in front of me.
Well, either way, it seemed to work, and then Gary Lipinski seemed to believe in it too, because every time that you dropped down to the bottom to break the draft, he decided he was going to go with you just in case. Wasn't quite enough, but you take home the checkered flag. Congratulations, Zach, on your second win of the season. Before we let you get out of here, anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the Old Farts Sim Racing League. These guys are awesome to race with. It's amazing to have that many fast guys, that could win a race, and it makes it an absolute blast. HBR TV, of course, and you, Steve, for the broadcast. Track Bar Media, and shoot me a follow on Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram at that S4 guy.
All right, Zach, next week I think we go to Charlotte, final race of the season. What are your thoughts rolling into, NASCAR home?
Boy, I hope I can make it, because that's one I definitely don't want to miss, and in these cars it'll definitely be fun.
All right, Zach. Well, again, congratulations on the victory here tonight, and thanks for chatting with us.
Thank you, sir.
Zach Millett, your race winner here at Indy. Next, we're going to go to Gary Lipinski, dominating first and second stage, not able to take home top honors post-race. Second place finisher, Gary Lipinski. It's Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, Steven, good.
Gary, congratulations on the Stage 1 to Stage 2 win. We didn't get a chance to talk to you for a little technical issue in Discord, but we got you here now. A second place finish in the race. Man, that was a close one. A green-white checkered finish. Very exciting. Zach got to the outside and made the pass the hard way. Was there anything you could have done? Maybe catch 4 tires instead of 2?
Yeah. I accidentally took the 2 tires. I meant to take 4, and I forgot to recheck the left sides. And I know he took 4, and I felt like if that would have run out right there, he wouldn't have caught me, I felt. So I'm like, okay, I'll be okay. I passed all these guys. I got a nice little comfortable lead. He won't catch me. That caution came out. I was like, if I don't get the launch, I'm in trouble. In which I really didn't get the launch, and he hung out in the outside there, and I tried. I just could not get the grip because that left rear actually wears more than the right rear, which is kind of weird. But
very interesting. We watched the lap times back and forth, and it was punch, counter punch between you and Zach Millett. You guys were running very equal times for the majority of the race. Even if one or the other caught the other, at least later on in the run, I don't think either of you really would have been able to make the pass. I think it had to happen on the restart, kind of how it did.
Yes. That's why one run I tried to go for it right away, because if I don't do it now, the tires will heat up. Be a lot harder to do.
Well, either way, a very impressive run, Gary. Again, winning stages 1 and 2. Unable to sweep the race, but I'm sure you'll take a second spot versus 20th or whatever it would be.
Yeah. Well, that's a great point today, because I need the points to see if I can get this championship.
So speaking of championship, looking forward to next week. We go into Charlotte Motor Speedway. That's going to be a fun one to watch, certainly here on HBR TV. What are your thoughts about Charlotte?
Oh, I'm a beast there. You watch. I love that racetrack. If depending on the setup, I just had another race somewhere else, and I pretty much dominate the whole thing. So hopefully, I can bring that skill to this race.
All right, Gary. Well, again, congratulations on another top 2 finish here at Indianapolis. And well done, stages 1 and 2. A good race for you. Thanks for talking to us, and good luck next week at Charlotte.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Old Farts. Thank you, and everybody out there watching, and my wife and family. Have a good night.
Don't forget the Cone Police.
And the Cone Police, because without that, forget it.
All right, Gary. Again, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week.
Thank you. Have a good night.
2. Gary Zlapinski, your second place finisher. Unfortunately, Mike Rominger, I don't know if he had to scurry off to work or what the case is, but we do not have Mike for our third place finisher interview. But a good run out of the 951. He was up there all night long, putting some good laps down, and a solid top 3 finish. Again, a good points night for Mike Rominger. Let's take a look at our race results here. We talked to our top 3, of course, Zach Millett, Gary Zlapinski, and Mike Rominger. 4th was Earl Latterell. 5th went to Norman Clark. Mike Martin was 6th. Craig White finished in the 7th position. 8th went to the gas man. I think that's Frank Gramuglia. I just have to fix that. No big deal. Noel Coors, a good run for him. Probably not where he wanted or expected to finish. He was up there in that top 3, looking strong at the late running of the race. He finished in the 9th spot. Frank Perfin was 10th. Mike Howlett finished 11th. Harold Decker in the 9. He finished 12th, even after an incident on track. Paul Witt was 13th. Travis Turnmeyer was 14th. Alan McEwen was 15th, Jared McCauley 16th, James Randall was 17th, 18th went to Mark Robertson. Again, we did have Joe Green and Brett Allison enter the session, did not take the green flag, they're not classified, so that is your race results here. The Concrete Floors Company Next Gen Series, presented by Old Farts Sim Racing from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Got to thank everybody for jumping in here tonight, joining us in the stream chat. Again, we had some technical issues. We've been kind of fighting some demons here as of late as far as the live stream is concerned. We typically dual stream Facebook and YouTube. You see at the bottom there, facebook.com/HBRTV1. And also same handle on YouTube, HBRTV and the number 1. We're going to continue to make posts on Facebook as far as that goes, whether it's post-race pictures and race results and things of that nature. But I think we're going to continue on moving forward on the YouTube platform only until we can get these things kind of straightened away, because it seems like the dual stream could be the issue with losing the streams. We had that happen here early tonight, had to start things all over. We've kind of gone into record mode just in case we have to post it up later, but I think we got lucky. Once we went live here single on the YouTube side, stream went flawless from green to checker. So making some progress. It's a plus. Again, thank you guys all for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for participating in the stream chat. It was pretty much just Eddie Rose and Zach Millett. Zach Millett texting while driving. That's a no-no, my friend. But again, we do appreciate it. So tune in next week. We'll try to make some more posts on the Facebook side so you guys are aware of it moving forward. But next week's race at Charlotte Motor Speedway will be live here on HBR TV. Tune in about 8 p.m. in the East next Wednesday, and it'll be on the YouTube side of things. So again, we'll make sure we post that out. If you're more of a Facebook kind of person, we'll be sure to cover that. That's all I got. I'm Steve with HBR TV, congratulating Zach Millett on his victory here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Next week, it's championship week, going into Charlotte Motor Speedway. Tune in, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.